Alright, so I recently did a couple videos where I did cartridge comparisons using the 300 rum to compare to some of the heavy magnum cartridges. And in those cartridge comparison videos, in the comments section, I noticed a theme. When I like to look at my comment section, see what you guys think about what I'm talking about. And I noticed a theme in that comment section of a lot of you guys saying don't overlook the 300 PRC, which I want you to know I am not. But I have been planning to do some 300 PRC cartridge comparison videos, but I wanted to start out comparing it to something that I think is a little bit closer to than that 300 rum, and that is the 300 Win Mag. Now, I know what a lot of you guys are thinking, the 300 Win Mag is not as stout of a cartridge as the 300 PRC, but I think after this video you guys will see what I'm talking about, how these two cartridges compare much more similarly than something like the 300 rum, with one big glaring difference. The 300 PRC has one big thing that separates it from even the other heavy 30 caliber cartridges. So the parent cases for both these cartridges. So the parent case for the 300 Win Mag is the 375 H&H Magnum. The parent case for the 300 PRC is the 375 Ruger. So the case capacity for both these cartridges is very similar. So the 300 Win Mag, when we talk about case capacity, we're talking about water case capacity. So fill the case up with water, weigh the water, and that is our case capacity. So 300 Win Mag has 93.8 grains of water case capacity. The 300 PRC, you're looking at 99.0 grains of water case capacity. The shoulder angle, I think there's a lot of merit in some different shoulder angles, or in looking at the shoulder angles of these cartridges, of all cartridges. And the 300 Win Mag has a 25-degree shoulder angle, so not extremely narrow shoulder angle, but definitely not a steep shoulder angle. The 300 PRC has a 30-degree shoulder angle, so it's got a fairly steep shoulder angle, and 30 degrees, like I talked about in the past, I think there's a lot of merit to a 30-degree shoulder angle. So one of the big differences in these cartridges, and it's not the main difference that I think separates these two cartridges, is how these cartridges headspace. Now, I did a cartridge comparison video a while back where I compared the 7 SOM here to the 7 Rim Mag, and one of the things I said in that video about the 7 Rim Mag is one of the things that you have to be aware of when you're looking at a belted Magnum cartridge is the fact that they headspace off that belt. So a belted Magnum cartridge like a 300 Win Mag headspaces off the belt, whereas the 300 PRC headspaces off the shoulder of the cartridge. So I think it is a little bit more efficient to headspace off the shoulder for a couple of reasons. I know I had some disagreements with me in that video, but from my personal experience hand loading with belted Magnum cartridges, as well as other people that I know, one of the things that you will find with a belted Magnum cartridge, and you'll see this when you run a belted Magnum cartridge through the sizing die, it doesn't go all the way down to that belt. So after 5 or 6 firings, you'll start to see, and it may be very minutely, but you can measure with your calibers and see it, you will start to see some swelling right above that belt between where the belt is and where your sizing die reaches to. So they actually do make a sizing die for exactly this, so that you can reach that extra little bit right up to that belt. But without that, you can, if you don't pay close attention to it and make sure and take care of it right off the bat, you can start to see some issues with that. So that is one thing that if you are shooting a belted Magnum cartridge, to be aware of and to make sure you watch. I have seen cases actually stretch in that area. Also, I have seen cases in that same area, I've seen cases start to get a line of head separation. So just something to be aware of. So the velocities of these two cartridges. So the 300 Win Mag, now when we talk about velocities, what we're doing here is we're going off published data. So I'm looking at, for these, I used Hodgdon's published data for both these cartridges, and we're using the same powder, same bullet, and we're using the max charge weight. So for the 300 PRC and the 300 Win Mag, we're using 24-inch barrels is what our published data is based off of. So we're going to use the 230 grain Burger tack and Retumbo powder for both these cartridges. So with the 300 Win Mag, with that 230 grain Burger, and one of the other things I want to say is I do believe that this published data here from Hodgdon in regards to the 300 PRC and the 300 Win Mag are slightly skewed towards the lower end. So I think that they're slightly conservative in the velocities that they're giving you. I think you can get more velocity out of these 230 grains from both these cartridges, but we are going to go with the published data that Hodgdon provides. So the 230 grain burger from the 300 Win Mag, 24-inch barrel, Retumbo powder with a max charge weight of 77.0 grains. You're looking at 2,714 feet per second, you're looking at 2,714 feet per second from the muzzle. With the 300 PRC, with a same Retumbo powder, same 230 grain burger, you are looking at 76.1 grain charge weight to get you 2,733 feet per second. So you're looking at 19 feet per second faster with that 300 PRC and 9/10 of a grain less in powder charge to get you to that velocity. Now, like I said, I think both these are skewed. I think you can run both these a little faster, but that does tell you right off the bat that that 300 PRC is slightly more efficient than the 300 Win Mag because it's taking less powder to make more velocity. So, our trajectory. So trajectory, we're going to use the trajectory based off of the velocities and the bullets that we used for our velocities. So our trajectory with the 300 Win Mag, so using that 24-inch barrel, 230 grain burger at 500 yards with the 300 Win Mag, you're looking at 9.5 minute of angle elevation and 2,343 foot-pounds of energy on target at 500 yards. At 1,000 yards with that 300 Win Mag at our 2,714 feet per second at the muzzle, you are looking at 27.75 minute of angle elevation and 1,377 foot-pounds of energy. So still plenty of energy even out there at 1,000 yards to take a larger type of game. So that is one thing to be aware of. Both these cartridges produce the amount of energy to get you out there to 1,000 yards and still be able to put down that deer humanely. So our 300 PRC with the same 230 grain burger with our 2,733 feet per second muzzle velocity that we got from our 300 PRC published data with our max charge weights, you are looking at 9.25 minute of angle. So you are looking at actually a 1/4 minute of angle flatter trajectory out to 500 yards with 300 PRC and 2,379 foot-pounds of energy. So almost 40 pounds of energy, foot-pounds of energy more than the 300 Win Mag and a 1/4 minute flatter shooting. So at 1,000 yards with our 300 PRC, you're looking at 27.5 minute of angle, so you're still gaining that 1/4 minute of angle flat trajectory over the 300 Win Mag, and 1,401 foot-pounds of energy. So still have plenty of that energy retained out there at 1,000 yards. So our recoil for both these cartridges. Obviously, both these cartridges shooting identical bullets, almost identical charge weights. The recoil is going to be negligibly different between the two of these. You're not going to notice much of a difference, if any, in the recoil between the 300 PRC and the 300 Win Mag, with all things being equal. So our barrel life. Now, this is one thing from my personal experience, as well as what I've found from other people and what they are going with. Barrel life for both these cartridges, with all things being equal, almost identical, very, very similar shoulder angles, only being 5 degrees different, very similar charge weights, almost the same. Your barrel life is going to be almost identical as well. So with the 300 Win Mag, and when we talk about barrel life, we're talking about match accuracy. We're not talking about how many rounds can you push down this tube. We're talking about the match accuracy. So from the first shot till it finally starts to degrade, that amount of time, that many rounds is our barrel life. So with the 300 Win Mag, you're looking at 1,500 to 1,800 rounds of match accuracy for barrel life, whereas the 300 PRC, you're looking at about 1,600 rounds from everything I could find for doing some homework for this video. So right in line with that 15 to 1800, I would say with all things being equal, barrel life is going to be negligible in difference between the two of these. So factory ammo availability. So factory ammo availability, this is one place where the 300 PRC does have a disadvantage. It being a very new cartridge, 300 Win Mag being around for so long, 300 PRC as far as I am aware, and if it is different than this, it's not by much. From what I am aware of, the only company making ammo for the 300 PRC is Hornady, who is the company that created the 300 PRC. So if you're looking to shoot factory ammo, you are going to have to go with Hornady's offerings. Whereas the 300 Win Mag, there is not a ammo manufacturer out there who is not producing some sort of ammo for the 300 Win Mag. Now, most of it is geared towards the hunting side of thing, but you also can find match factory ammo. Now, one thing I will say for both of these cartridges, if you plan to shoot factory ammo, especially with today's prices, you better have deep pockets, because this ammo gets expensive in these bigger 30 caliber magnums and up when trying to buy factory ammo. So, our factory rifle availability. So one of the things, the 300 PRC, because it grew so popularity so quick, many different companies spun up barrels chambered in 300 PRC and put out rifle SKUs right off the bat in 300 PRC. So if you're looking for factory 300 PRC rifles, they are not hard to find, and by most of the reputable manufacturers. Same obviously with 300 Win Mag, whereas the 300 PRC, most of the factory rifles you're going to find are going to be geared towards hunting, or if not all of them. The 300 Win Mag, most of them are going to be geared towards hunting, but you will find some tactical offerings as well chambered in 300 Win Mag, like the Savage Tactical and the Ruger Precision. So one of the big differences now, as we went through these, you can see how closely these cartridges compare. The velocities are very similar, their energies are very similar, their charge weights are very similar. But there's one big difference that you don't notice if you didn't do some studying up on these cartridges. So the 300 PRC is a very new cartridge, as we know. But because it is a new cartridge, it was designed recently as bullet technology has increased. So bullet technology now, we know, and when we are shooting when we are shooting for long range precision, we are typically loading and shooting heavy for caliber high BC bullets. Well, back when the 300 Win Mag was first introduced, these heavy for caliber 200 grain plus 30 caliber bullets didn't exist. So because of that, the chambers on the 300 Win Mag are designed for these shorter, smaller, lower BC bullets. And if you want to run the heavy for caliber high BC bullets, you need to have that rifle chambered, that barrel chambered with a throat that is capable of fitting something like a 230, a 240, a 250. So that is the big difference, whereas the 300 PRC was designed around a 230 and a 250 grain bullet. So that is one big glaring difference. A factory 300 PRC rifle is going to come out of the box and will have no problem, if you are hand loading, being able to load up a 230 grain, 250 grain pill and find that it has no problem fitting in your case. So that is the cartridge comparison for the 300 Win Mag and the 300 PRC. Like I said, I've got a lot of experience with the 300 Win Mag, not so much with the 300 PRC, but I've been very aware of it. And with you guys all wanting to see a comparison with it, I figured now would be a good time to do it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. Hope this was helpful. I'll see you guys next time. I'm out.